Hi everyone, I'm Noel Adams. I run the Pfangirl Through the Looking Glass blog. Today we're trying something a bit different. First ever vlog for the site. If I make a tit of myself now, this may not happen again, but we'll just see how it goes. I am, however, confident at least that the setting is more authentic than the one that's been planned for South African's first Comic-Con, so I think we're off to a good start there. I like to think that I put myself on the front lines of pop culture to sort of save you guys the effort and the pain. That's why today we'll be looking at the 50 Shades of Grey books. Yeah. A lot has been said about the 50 Shades of Grey books. Just as a little bit of background, they initially started out as Twilight fan fiction. If it gives you any indication of the type of creativity we're dealing here from author E.L. James, is that her pseudonym for her fan fiction was Ice Queen's Snow Dragon. Yeah, very, very subtle. Basically, after reading these, Twilight looks like classic fiction, mostly because the leads of the 50 Shades of Grey book are probably the most insufferable, agonizing characters you will ever have to encounter in a book. If you thought Bella Swan in the Twilight books and films was irritating, wait until you meet Anastasia Steele in these books. She's 21, an English major, even though she only seems to have ever read one book, which is Tess of the D'Urbervilles, and she is hopelessly naive about everything from technology to sex. My point is, I can sort of accept a naive 16-year-old. 21 years old, I'm sorry, she just irritates me too much. She's also then paired with Christian Grey, who obviously looks exactly like Edward Cullen, except he is extra protective, batshit insane. He refers to his birth mother entirely as the crack whore. On taking Anastasia's virginity, he proceeds to tell her, "I want you sore, baby," he murmurs as he continues his sweet, leisurely torment. "Every time you move tomorrow, I want you to be reminded that I've been here. Only me. You are mine." You could actually play a drinking game with the number of times that Christian Grey tells Anastasia that she is his. Meanwhile, if you really want to play a drinking game with the shenanigans of Anastasia Steele, I would suggest you take a shot every time she sachets anywhere, which she does a lot. Anytime she has a conversation or refers to her inner goddess and her subconscious. Her inner goddess is typically doing the lambada or some Spanish dance and is ready to pounce on Christian Grey at any moment, while her subconscious tends to wear sort of winged glasses and looks over disapprovingly the collection of Charles Dickens's great story. I also forgot to mention that Christian Grey, while Anastasia is 21, he starts out the series at 27. He is a multi-millionaire industrialist, if not a billionaire. He has catamarans, private jets, helicopters, you name it. He's got every single toy that you could think of. He also makes approximately $100,000 an hour, she tells Anastasia at one point. Yeah, you're not dealing with any kind of realism in 50 Shades of Grey at all, so I can understand the appeal there to be functioning in this world of complete unbelievability. It's just that there's only so much you can take. There's a kind of, Christian Grey is into, he's a dominant, he likes to be in control. Anastasia is new to this, unsurprisingly, and doesn't really take to the lifestyle. However, this is what their conversations are like all the time. While the book is about her teaching him to sort of let go of his control issues and sort of develop a more normal relationship with women, this is the way that they speak to each other for all three books. "Christian, why do you think you have a dark soul? I would never say that. Sad maybe, but you're a good man. I can see that. You're generous, you're kind, and you've never lied to me. And I haven't tried very hard. Last night was such a shock to my system. It was a wake-up call. I realized that you'd been easy on me, and I couldn't be the person you wanted me to be. Then, after I left, it dawned on me that the physical pain you inflicted was not as bad as the pain of losing you. I do want to please you, but it's hard. I love you, Christian Grey, and you're prepared to do all this for me. I'm the one who's undeserving, and I'm sorry that I can't do all those things for you. Maybe with time, I just don't know, but yes, I accept your proposition. Where do I sign? Yeah, there's a constant sort of apology to Christian from Anastasia, and he almost always gets his way. The extent to which he's attracted to her is related to her fiery spirit, where she does things like put on his t-shirt and use his toothbrush. Wow, yeah. As for unbelievability and escapism, this is a couple who has sex on average about 8 times a day at one point. As for the books as a whole, although the writing is pretty shocking, I can't be entirely negative. The first book is definitely the most insufferable of the lot. It feels exactly mirror for mirror like Twilight. If Bella had good old Native American Jacob as her friend, here we have Anastasia, who has Mexican American Jose as her friend, who's constantly lurking around but never quite gets in there, especially with Christian Grey scowling viciously at him the whole time. It ends on a cliffhanger, which basically forces you to read the next book. At least the second book, 50 Shades Darker, has a little bit of a story, whereas Bella in the Twilight books had a lot of angry vampires to contend with. In these books, it seems very much to be Christian's rather crazy exes who sort of come out of the woodwork. And I will say that I quite enjoyed the story. I was interested to know what happened in this one. Finally, you get the last book. And again, keeping up the Twilight similarities, this is like Breaking Dawn. It goes on and on and on. The story could be told in half the time, instead of these characters running back and forth over the same issues. I think you know you have a problem when you're writing an erotic romance and the readers are actually skipping the sex scenes because they just have become so tedious. Speaking of the sex scenes, you're not really going to get much of a examination, a deep probing look at what dominant and submissive relationships are like in these books. They're not particularly extreme in any way. I think there's perhaps one slightly anal involving scene in the entire thing, and not to say that there isn't some grossness if you're a little on the conservative side. I think pulling out a woman's tampon to have sex with her while she's having her period is pretty gross. Same for telling her how much you're looking forward to her next pregnancy for the breast milk. Yeah, it did manage to, by the very end, gross me out a few times. As you can tell, I absolutely loved the 50 Shades series, and that's why today I'll be giving away a copy of After Christmas, because, well, yeah, I had a spare one for Christmas, and it probably has, in the past 2 years, become my absolute favorite Christmas movie. And it's a good incentive to get you guys watching, and I'd love to hear your feedback. To enter, this is a Region 2 DVD, by the way, so it'll work on South African and European DVD players. Please just to enter, if you'd like to win, leave a comment below. Let me know what you feel like. You'll go into a lucky draw, and then the winner will win that DVD. Also, please just share your thoughts on how you've enjoyed this, anything that you'd like to see in possible future ones, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks.